So guys, after telling Nigerians that they inherited a bankrupt Nigeria, that they inherited mess from the former administration, come and see Tinubu raining praise on Buhari. Nigerians, what level of hypocrisy is this? You just have to take a look at this video. Honestly, this is what we don't want as a country.
His predecessor, Muhammadu Buhari, during the unveiling ceremony of 2 books titled Working with Buhari and Muhammadu Buhari, The Nigerian Legacy, saying that he served Nigeria with dedication and uncommon zeal. Tinubu also praised the authors of the book, one of which was written by Buhari's former special advisor, Femi Adesina, saying that they have done justice to the essential of Muhammadu Buhari, especially on his tenure and legacy as the 15th president of Nigeria.
You assumed office at a very difficult time in our nation's life. The economy was plunging into recession. Boko Haram has taken over so many local governments and some part of our country. It is easy to forget that United Nations building was attacked here in Abuja. It's easy to forget the role of armed forces. But if this book is carefully read and taught in terms of substance in our various schools, the job of securing every inch of our nation may not be completed, but you did a wonderful job.
Well, Tinubu there saying Buhari did a wonderful job. Well, in the meantime, the former president, while speaking at his first public appearance since leaving office, expressed deep gratitude to those who supported him during his presidency, including President Tinubu. Buhari also highlighted the challenges faced by his administration and apologized for the tough decisions taken during his tenure, while affirming his unwavering belief in the nation's future.
Why
Femi Adesina on Newsnight, and he talked about how the president did a wonderful job. But if you recall, at the time, President Buhari had put in so many different policies that caused a lot of hardship in our nation, including, importation, banning, imported goods, which affected some sectors as well. But also, we had President Tinubu here saying that, Buhari did a wonderful job. In the meantime, we are hearing that he inherited a bankrupt economy.
There is an American band. I'm a lover of rock music and pop music. There's an American band called One Republic that sang a song. And the song goes thus: it's too late to apologize. It's too late. Yeah, it's too late to apologize.
Really?
It's too late.
You're not accepting the apology, Rufai?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay, tell us why.
And I'll tell you why. President Buhari came in 2015 with a lot of expectations. In 2015, if you shouted, say Baba, it was like a tribe, like a cult. Everybody loved that man. I loved him to bits and pieces. Everybody thought he was going to change things. But what did he do? He disappointed Nigeria. It took him 6 months before he gave us ministers. He took the state of growth the government of the PDP had then and he truncated it. The value of the naira then, they were saying they were going to bring from $1 to 1 naira, was about 200 now. They pushed it till about over 400 and something. Now it's gone over 1,000. The APC administration after 8 years now, has been one that has really dampened the courage of Nigerians in their country. When Buhari came in, he came in with the mantra that he was a general, he was going to fight insecurity and all of that. But insecurity increased. We had banditry and everything under him. He made some successes, don't get me wrong. He did a lot of projects, but there were many corruption allegations also in his administration. And people are checking what is even the cost of the project. He said he did. He took this economy, shut it down on his feet. He shut our borders in the process of trying to get people to buy more Nigerian rice and all of that. Yes, some local production happened, but what happened? Inflation came. Many haphazard economy. At some point, he kept on blaming the fact that we're not getting enough forex. When the Ukraine war started, that we had a lot more money, what happened? Nothing. He printed 27 trillion in ways and means, and he kept on printing money that we cannot justify. He put our economy in this quagmire we are in today, and a lot of Nigerians feel the pain for it. Today, a dollar is over 1,000 naira. A pound sterling is going to 1,600 or 700 naira. He left an economy in shambles. President Tinubu keeps complaining about it. Yes. His problem is so much that President Tinubu can't even take the fall for him. He has to say every time that it is you that caused the corruption. Yes. Under his administration, he set up a humanitarian ministry that has become a cesspit for corruption today.
Right.
A minister under his administration is now going to the EFCC to give account. After all of this, you're saying tough decisions. President Buhari, you didn't think through those decisions when you made them. And that's why I say this morning, it's too late to apologize because the damage has been done. The Nigeria where we knew in 2015 that had a vibrant economy, that was an investor's hub for Africa, is no longer the Nigeria we know today.
Right.
And you started the process of the damage. You take accountability and responsibility. But as children of God, we'll take your apology, but it's too late to apologize.
Okay.
I assure you, yes. It's too late.
Well, Rufai has taken his apology, but, still saying it's too late. You made mention of the insecurity.
Yes.
And obviously, President Tinubu also inherited that insecurity. But you saw him there, praising Buhari, saying at the time he took over the government, there was, all the bombings in Abuja and terrorism reduced a lot. Well, in another development, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has condemned the recent spate of kidnappings and bandit attacks, describing the development as disturbing, ungodly, and sinister. The president made the comment when he received a delegation of Jamiatu Ansar-Din, a highly respected Islamic movement, at the State House in Abuja on Tuesday. President Tinubu said while security agencies are acting with dispatch to immediately address the current challenge, all required resources, policies, and plans will be rolled out soon for massive education of Nigerian youth. The president said education is the antidote to the troubles ailing the nation, adding that there is no weapon against poverty that is potent as learning. I think that this was a very, valid point President Tinubu has made. Education, we need to see how this will be implemented. Though even during the book launch, he also talked about the fact that, history was taken out of our, curriculum. He would like to have, these books written for President Buhari included in our curriculum. While in the same vein, the Supreme Council of Sharia in Nigeria on Tuesday provoked a fresh controversy on the Muslim ticket of the All Progressives Congress for the 2023 election, which is said has fallen short of expectation. The president of the Sharia group gave the verdict in an interview with journalists during a national conference held in Abuja. He said despite the enormous support received by the president during the election, Nigerians have not enjoyed dividends of democracy. The president went further to state that the group campaigned and supported Tinubu until he came into power, but that now they are suffering. Ayo, before I come to you, you see these groups now saying that they supported Tinubu and they are suffering. But education is one way of solving the insecurity. But also, earlier we took the story of the Lagos Trust Fund, which will bring me to my next story, about state governors doing what they need to do to ensure security in their various states. Well, in the meantime, the governor of Kaduna State, Uba Sani, announced plans to establish a security trust fund to confront all emerging and recurring security challenges. President Tinubu also inherited that insecurity, but you saw him there, praising Buhari, saying at the time he took over the government, there was, all the bombings in Abuja and terrorism reduced a lot. Well,
we voted for the Muslim ticket and now we are suffering. So guys, this is coming from one of the Muslim clerics in the north. They are now feeling the hardship in the country. Because when we told them to vote for competence, they thought it was just all about tribe. Now they are complaining that they voted for Muslim ticket and now they are suffering. So guys, apart from what is happening in the country now, Tinubu has come out to praise Buhari for how his administration was successful. You know, he tried to tell Buhari all the amazing work Buhari did. Don't forget that the same Tinubu's administration came out to tell Nigerians that they met a bankrupt Nigeria and they met mess on the ground. And now you can imagine him praising Buhari. Oh my God. Don't forget that Bawa, who was the EFCC chairman under Buhari, was sacked. Emefiele is being prosecuted, and so many people under Buhari's leadership, you know, whom Tinubu think, oh, they didn't do well. And you can imagine all of a sudden, Tinubu is now praising Buhari in the presence of the media and the entire world that Buhari did a good job. This is another level of hypocrisy. I mean, real hypocrisy. So guys, let me allow you listen to what these analysts have got to say. Honestly, it's going to shock you.
And obviously, President Tinubu also inherited that insecurity. But you saw him there, you know, praising Buhari, saying at the time he took over the government, there was, you know, all the bombings in Abuja and terrorism reduced a lot. Well, in another development, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has condemned the recent spate of kidnappings and bandit attacks, describing the development as disturbing, ungodly, and sinister. The president made the comment when he received a delegation of Jimiatu Asaruddin, a highly respected Islamic movement, at the State House in Abuja on Tuesday. President Tinubu said while security agencies are acting with dispatch to immediately address the current challenge, all required resources, policies, and plans will be rolled out soon for massive education of Nigerian youth. The president said education is the antidote to the troubles ailing the nation, adding that there is no weapon against poverty that is potent as learning. I think that this was a very, you know, valid point President Tinubu has made. Education, we need to see how this will be implemented. Though even during the book launch, he also talked about the fact that, you know, history was taken out of our, you know, curriculum. He would like to have, you know, these books written for President Buhari included in our curriculum. Challenges in the state. The governor spoke on Tuesday at the Kaduna Core Security Council meeting with traditional rulers and local government chairmen of frontline areas.
Show by his body language that he meant business, and as the first citizen of the state, he was interested in leading the people to live together more peacefully. Very powerful message there. So he's been doing the right things in terms of his commitment to promoting security in Kaduna State. And I must say that it is important because last administration was terrible with security in Kaduna State. It was one news after the other of whether abductions, attacks on one community or the other, with just little or nothing seen to address that. So I must give him kudos for that. Also, this is a great call that we made with regards to other states following or towing the line of the Lagos State Security Trust Fund, which Mr. Femi Otedola had donated $1 billion to the other time. So I'm hoping that the Kaduna citizens will also donate money to this security trust fund. It's one thing to establish it, it's another thing for it to thrive because people, private citizens or corporate organizations buy into that idea. It's worked in Lagos State, other states should emulate. Now let me go back to the story with regards to President Tinubu talking about education. When the Muslim group came to see him or went to see him, you know, showing concern for the security situation in Nigeria, and he spoke very well. We've talked about it a number of times. Analysts have said it's the remote and immediate causes of security or the rise in terrorism, banditry, kidnapping. Poverty has been highlighted as one of it. The former Vice President Atiku Abubakar said this following the kidnapping situations in Abuja. Education, lack of it, especially in the northern parts of Nigeria. It's not surprising that the place or the area that's most plagued with insecurity has the largest number of out-of-school children in Nigeria. And guess what? The insecurity situation further exacerbates the situation because if you can't protect students in schools, then parents are not encouraged to send the children to school anyway. But he said something very important, and I totally agree with that, that they must teach, whether through the Islamic way or through formal education, the people and people of their faith, that kidnapping is not in the Quran. Killing people or shedding of blood is not the way of the Prophet. it's not, they must teach the truth, because some people twist religion on either side of the divide. Whichever religious belief you have can be twisted to the very extreme. So I like that he's drawing them in as well to take responsibility when it comes to education, both religious education and formal education, as an antidote, or one of the antidotes to addressing insecurity. Now, going to the Sharia group who say that they are not happy. No, it doesn't have it. It has not yet. There's no time yet.
Is it too late to apologize?
No, it's 8 months. No, they cannot. No, they should start. We've started seeing some people, even on social media, going up and saying, oh, we must... I mean, you have your right to change your mind at any time, but it also shows and demonstrates that before you support or back something, think through it.
Absolutely.
We're playing along religious sentiments and lines during election when it favored them. Now it's not favoring them anymore. It just shows that people are selfish.
Yes.
Everyone is looking out for their own interest. Now it's not favoring them anymore. They're not saying, oh, yeah, no. It has to be based on ideological concepts, or the fact that they thought it was great for the nation, not just for a particular group.
Absolutely. I love that. Well, all right. Shall we take another story? It's for you, Vimbai. Following up on the scandal that has rocked the Humanitarian Ministry, which led to the suspension of its minister, Dr. Betta Edu. The minister was said to have received the sum of 3 billion naira of COVID-19 funds for the verification of the National Social Register. Well, in a letter dated September 18th, 2023, Femi Gbajabiamila, the chief of staff to the president, told Betta Edu that her request to obtain the 3 billion naira from the COVID-19 funds had been approved by the president. The 3 billion naira was reportedly disbursed to 9 companies, including one linked to Olubunmi Tunjiojo, Minister of Interior. The approval letter from the chief of staff has now elicited more reactions. Vimbai, this letter, is coming at the same time, that panel has been set up to investigate the ministry. But the issue here is about that COVID-19 funds. I mean, back in 2020, the World Bank had issued $114 million to Nigeria. And also, even the central bank issued 100 million naira credit. And, we saw a lot of looting at the time. If you can pull up some of those videos where Nigerians were saying we are suffering, where is the money? But at the time, they also asked the Accountant General of the Federation to account for those funds. And now we are seeing that the 3 billion naira, that's the video. The 3 billion naira was issued for verification of the social register. I mean, this is absurd at this point.
Oji, this is devastating at the least, because there's so many layers to the story, so many layers to it. Like you rightfully said, it's 2023. Our suffering is now, induced by other factors. But in 2020, 2021, at the height of the impact that was caused to businesses, people, property, people suffered during 2020 because, COVID, it wasn't anything anybody could have planned for. And then to now discover that there's 3 billion that was hanging out somewhere in an account and is now available to redo, because the social register had been done, but there was a choice to redo it, is another question when there are more pressing matters on the ground. And then secondly, it is now part of these funds are now being transferred to a Minister of Interior who is no longer a director in the business, but we all know the complexities of this story. So now the question here is, what is going to happen to the Minister of Interior? Because we've seen Betta Edu, she's being investigated. Kudos for that. We need to see this investigation expand to all who are named here, so that they can also clear their names. They need to be given an opportunity to clear their names. To end off, in international relations, they always like to say there are no permanent friends, only permanent interests. I know Betta Edu's media aide is saying that this is all part of blackmail. And it just goes to show you that when the chips are down, like Ayo was saying just now, it all comes down to personal interests. And it all comes down to people trying to save their necks and clear their names. Well, if that's what it's going to take to sanitize, corruption in various departments, then please leak. Let the leakages continue. We want to see more documents leaking.
Yes, it's one leak memo after another.
Quickly, Olubumi Ojo was supposed to be at CCB yesterday. He couldn't make it because he has another engagement. I think they fixed another date for him. He should be there. Also, the Chief of Staff, Mr. Gbajabiamila, should be able to make more explanation as regards this COVID-19. You see, these are part of the things. When Buhari was saying we should forgive him, do you know most of these monies were printed? They were not monies we had. They were the money CBN printed. That's part of the things causing inflation in the country today. And you see the way they squandered the Humanitarian Ministry, all sorts of... You're talking about the Accountant General of the last administration. Was that not the man that was caught in a corruption scandal? Over 100 billion? For the past 8 years now, most Accountant General has been caught in corruption. The one under Goodluck Jonathan too was caught in corruption.
No, we haven't
it's like a
heard
poison chalice.
About that. The National Assembly invited.
So we keep having these things, and it goes on. We are printing money, they are squandering it in about 6 months, and you can see the corruption allegation. And some people that were very bigoted enough when we're talking about these things in this country thought it was about religion. They pushed everything Muslim. You can see Nigeria's problem is not about that. It's about leaders having the heart to do well for the people. And the problem is we don't have checks and balances in place that make the leader have the heart for the people. You can see when Lagosians were protesting, no palliative for them to eat. Apparently, the Humanitarian Ministry is now answering questions. When we're saying, how would you give school feeding program during COVID-19 when schools were not open? They said our mouth was smelly. But whose mouth is smelly today?
I mean, look at
that's the kind of country we've built. And when we say it, somebody sits up there and say, I apologize for what? When people died because of this. People were robbed by 1 million boys during COVID-19 because of this.
It's unfortunate. 3 billion
So
naira
please, the Chief of Staff needs to explain.
Yes.
Accountant General needs to explain. All of them. The Chief of Staff needs to explain about this.
Absolutely.
In 2020, the federal government took a facility of $500 million to execute the National Social Register and cash transfers. So we spent money then to do this social register. Now we're spending another 3 billion to verify.
Unfortunate.
Just to let Nigeria, because that was a loan. So I'm not sure we've paid back the $500 million, and we're already spending more money to do in a very. No, so we need to understand the scope of the problem, and that every penny ought to be accounted for.
Absolutely.
$500 million, 2020. What happened to that?
All right, we shall take our final story then. The National Orientation Agency has issued a strict warning to the Olu of Owode Egba, Oba Aremo Showoimimo, for abusing Naira notes. In a viral video, the monarch was seen spraying wads of Naira notes on musician Wasiu Ayinde Marshall, popularly known as Kwam1, during the 13th anniversary of his ascension to the royal stool. The agency said the display was an abuse of the national currency, which attracts imprisonment, fines, or both. Well, let's take a look.
So guys, while so many Nigerians cannot even see Naira to go buy food, you know, some people have this mint. You can see that the money has not been separated. I mean, the different pages of the money, they are still all intact. This is to tell you that this is express from the CBN. Honestly, no wonder the CBN governor came out to say some people are holding the Naira. Possibly this may be one of them. But anyway, this is the list of the problems Nigerians have, you know. I wish this is just the only problem we face as a country. Then for me, it's not a problem. But as it stands now, you need to know the level of people in forests, you know, in different parts of the country being held by terrorists, by bandits. I mean, they are keeping their captives. Don't forget that the 6 to 7 NYC copper members who were going to serve in Zamfara states were adopted. This is close to 5 months going to 6 months that these people have been in the den of their captors, and it is not even, the headline is not there. The media houses are not talking about it. The federal government has not come out to say anything about it. The families of these people are somehow quiet. I don't know why they are not like speaking up. In such a situation, you don't need to keep quiet. If you want the government of Nigeria to hear you and hear you well, you have to come out to speak up. So guys, honestly, we are in a mess in Nigeria, and in case you don't know, Naira is, you know, being devalued every day. Today, almost 1,500 Naira is to $1. So you can imagine where we are heading to as a country. Nothing is working, and you've seen the president of Nigeria. He was in Owerri, you know, to witness the inauguration of Hope Uzodinma. Tell me what has that got to do with, moving Nigeria forward? His presence must not be there. I mean, he would have sent somebody to represent him. But because we have these idle people, because we have these people who are not creative, who cannot sit down to mobilize people and say, how can we waken up this economy that is crumbling? We don't have people that think about the future of the unborn children, the future of the younger generation. That is why we have the president, despite the insecurity that is being reported across Nigeria, he found out time to go spend with Hope Uzodinma. Tell me, what is the benefit that the Nigerian people are going to have that the president went to? There is none. That is to tell you that these people, they've misplaced priority, and that is why we are where we are today. So guys, you've heard it. I don't know what you think about all this. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.